What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Opinionated Off Topic. Today I'm with Carlos Mojica, co-owner, co-founder of Opinionated Media, and we're with Jake Whan. Super excited to interview him. I actually listened to first episode of his Conscious Coach podcast earlier today at work, and man, his story was just super inspiring. It's also cool to meet people that are doing things out of the kindness of their heart from their own experiences. And shout out Matt Worthington for the connection. That's the guy. So if you guys want to, check out Riser, make sure you guys go to his events. You can meet people like Jake, like us, and connect. So without further ado, thank you for coming, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Of course, thank you for taking time out your day, like you said. But just give us a little backstory, just where you came from and how you got started to what you're doing now.
Absolutely. That's a loaded question. I'll give you the summary of it, but I grew up in Rhode Island in a small town. Football was my life from 5 until I was 22 years old. And kind of my story growing up was I was going to be the kid to make it out of Rhode Island and go big with it. And that was my dream growing up, was to go play college football, play in the NFL. And that got me started in fitness when I was 12 years old. I started going to the local YMCA every single day with my dad and just learning from the guys there. And that took me, so fitness and football took me to learning about physical therapy when I got injured. And then I went to college for exercise science and played college football as well. From there, I graduated and started working the day after I graduated as a strength and conditioning coach with my strength and conditioning coach for football. And then during that time, I had numerous concussions. I went through a toxic relationship. I was manipulated by my boss/business partner. And it was a really dark time in my life. And that was at about 23 years old when this happened. And then from there, it's just been a long healing process, which I've learned about myself a lot. And there's been ups and downs and different battles. And last year, probably 18 months ago, was when I went through a really tough time. And that's kind of when I had my quote unquote awakening. And that led me towards breathwork, that led me towards plant medicine. And that leads me towards the work that I do now. So just being of service the most that I can.
Gotcha. What was it that got you into fitness way back when? Because 12 is I'd say it's kind of early to start getting into fitness and working out and constantly trying to get big. But what was it, just you being in the gym and it just felt good and it was kind of an escape?
Yeah, it was. Saw my dad going to our local YMCA. It's funny, I was just back there the other day, and it's this rundown YMCA, but I saw my dad going there every day, and it just kind of perked my interest. And we had a Bowflex in our basement. And I was like, "Hey, Dad, can you set this up?" And he set that up, and he started taking me to the Y, and I started going to into our basement every night and just working out. And it was because I wanted to get better at football. I was like, if I want to be better at football, I got to start training every day, because I would see the NFL players and everybody training, and I was like, I got to start training. And I would just run laps around my house over and over and over again. And it's because I just had this drive to be good at football. And I know I was a bit undersized, so that definitely drove it as well. But it was just a desire to be good in the sport.
What position did you play?
I played quarterback growing up.
Quarterback, okay.
Yeah.
What college did you end up going to?
I went to the University of Rhode Island for 2 years. And then I went to Endicott College, which was like right outside Boston, for 2 years.
Okay, and you played football at both of those schools?
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Did you play QB in college as well?
No, I played corner at the University of Rhode Island, and then I played slot receiver at Endicott College.
Okay.
What was like the biggest difference for you, like from high school going to Rhode Island, and then also from Rhode Island going to Boston?
Yeah, it was a huge wake-up call going to URI, because it was a D1 program, so we were training all throughout the summer, and then we started camp at like the end of July, and we went through camp until the first week of September. And I mean, camp is like, it's like it's a grind. Like, you're in meetings, you're like trying to stay awake the whole entire time, because you're going from 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. at night when we would get out of meetings. So that was like a huge wake up call. I was like, this is not what I expected at all. Also, I remember the first day of camp, we did like these drills where it was the corner and the wide receiver, and we lined up right next to each other, and it was just deep balls. And I had never gone against like D1 speed before. And I was just like, oh shit, like I am in for it. So it was a big difference from playing in Rhode Island. It made me a lot better. And then going and playing at Endicott, it was a D3 school. It was still like high competition, but it was fun. We got better and better as I was there. And so that was more fun. But college football, college sports, no matter what level you're at, like it's a grind.
Yeah, because he played college football as well.
Yeah.
And he was a corner. And then when he first went into fall camp, and he was just always like, dude, I'm just tired. I don't want to do anything. I'm just tired. Y'all wake up early, and it's literally all day.
All day.
And then one year he sent me the picture of the whiteboard and like what the schedule was like. And I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember getting there, and we got like our camp binder, and I remember looking at the schedule because I thought that like I would have free time because I lived 10 minutes away. So I was like, I'll go home and I'll see my girlfriend, I'll see my family, I'll have meals at home. And I looked at the schedule and I was like, oh, that's not happening. I'm not going home at all.
Yeah.
And luckily for you, you were home. Imagine people who just traveled far away because he was in Colorado.
Yeah, I was in Colorado.
Damn. Driving was what, 16 hours or something?
14 hours.
14 hours?
To Durango. So
Yeah.
So you transferred to Boston. What'd you study in college?
Exercise science.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
And so you transferred to Boston, play out there. What was like your transition from playing football and then you're wrapping up playing football in college? Like, where'd you go from there? Because I know when I was playing college football, he had mentioned starting a podcast, like a sports podcast. And from there, it was kind of like an idea that was formulated. But I don't know if without him saying that, I would have went in this direction. So I'm curious, like, what kind of got you in the direction you're in now?
Yeah, I mean, at Endicott College, we did a internship for our last semester. So I had like one class, but I lived in Rhode Island and I worked at the strength and conditioning gym that I trained at during my summers with my coach. So I did that, and then I was going to go to Miami for grad school, but my business partner / boss, he convinced me to stay. He was like, let's build this up together. So I was doing that internship, and then I graduated, and the next day I started just training people. I was like training athletes, doing classes all throughout the day, and waking up at 4:30 in the morning and going and teaching a 5:15 class, and then I would do that till 8 p.m. at night. So that was really my transition, and it was just going like right into work. It was definitely a huge identity shift, like going from a football player for 18 years of my life and then it ending. So that was a big shift, like not really knowing who I was. But yeah, I just got like thrown right into like work.
Yeah.
We talk about on this podcast the identity thing a lot because there's a lot of former athletes that do come on, and then some of them did play college ball, and then some of them play a little bit further, but it's like, it's all you know. Like literally, you said you're playing since the age of 5, from 5 to 20, 21. That's all you played was football. So it's like, in your head, it's like, all right, I'm going to play football. I'm going to the NFL. I'm going to the NFL. I'm going to college. I'm going to college. Then college gets here, and it's like, you're playing. And 10 year comes, and it's like, it's gone. It's done. It's over. It's like, what? For him, it's like, I have so much free time. It's like, you just don't really know what to do.
Yeah.
And then you don't. For me, it was a little bit different because I was supposed to go to college for baseball, but it ended up tearing my shoulder. For me, it just kind of hit right away. For y'all, was it just something that like was just kind of over time? It's like, damn, I'm not playing anymore. Or is it just like once it was over, it was over? For you, it might be a little different because you went right into work.
Yeah. That was a little bit different. Like it was just another grind that I got into. But definitely by the end of my senior year, I was kind of done with it. Like, it was just my identity for so long, and it started to become something that other people wanted for me more than I wanted for myself. Like, it was just, you know, it was all that I knew. And by the time I got to my senior year, I was like, I kind of know that I'm done with this. And I had like multiple concussions, and I got one my junior year, and then going into my senior year, like I started getting hit in camp, and then I couldn't remember plays. Like I was on the field and I couldn't remember the play. And it was very interesting. It was like, I'm smart. I've memorized plays my whole entire life. I don't know. Like I would be in the game. I have this one vivid memory. Like we're in the game. It's like my third game that I'm starting, and I'm supposed to run like a corner, and I ran a wheel and just getting like reamed out, and I just forgot. So at that time I kind of knew. I was like, I need to get away from this and start focusing on myself.
Yeah.
What about you?
What was the question? Just
Like, how long did it take for you to like realize that like you're not a football player anymore? It's like just over?
Yeah. For me, it was more so. I mean, because when I was done, still lived with football guys. My roommates were younger than me, so they're over here in off season. I'm kind of just still working out, staying in shape, and like there's nothing else to do with my time. So really, for me, the transition was when it was over. Was when I'm getting ready to like start my internship when I first get back to Austin. I'm working. I'm making like really good money living at home, but like my life was this intern, work out after that, live at home, stack my money, and then like on the weekends just go out. Like being single, being back home for good, like in Austin, like there's plenty of stuff to do here. So that's why it was honestly great that we had started the podcast and wanted to get into it, because saving the money, kind of planning it out, doing it the right way. It's like once it came, we were like, all right, this is something else to focus on. So just having like those skills from playing sports and building foundational pieces, like I think that's super essential just for building like businesses or even just finding another passion. Because I mean, you're just so used to just being on the go or doing something that it's great to take it other places. So that was at least, that's how it was for me at least. So
because I was pitching and it happened. I just tore my ligament, and from literally that second, I knew it was done. Like it was like a pain. Like damn, this isn't something that I've felt before. Walked to the dugout, and then it's like I know it's over because I know I tore something.
Yeah.
And for baseball, for a shoulder, that's something that you don't want to tear is your shoulder, because it's when I went to the doctor, he said the most I'll ever get back to is like 80%. That's not good.
Yeah.
So
it goes like, it can go like just like
I was
that.
done after that.
Yeah.
yeah. So transition. You said you were gonna move to Miami, but you ended up staying out in Rhode Island. So kind of what started bringing you back or bringing you down south? Really, that's a long ways away.
Yeah. I worked as a strength and conditioning coach for like a year and a half. And then like right before COVID happened, I had just had enough with the situation I was in. And I knew I had to get out. I knew I had to leave. So I quit like right before COVID happened. And then I decided to go back to school for grad school and go into nutrition and metabolism. I went to Boston University. I moved to Boston. I went there for like 3 weeks, and it was Zoom University. So we were like just on Zoom. If I wanted to go into class, I had to do like 2 COVID tests, and I was like, I'm good. And I dropped out after 3 weeks, and I went back home for a little bit, and I had the strong calling to go to California. So I went, I was like in this mentorship group that I invested into when I was like 23. And me and a couple guys from the group, we just went out to California. So I lived there for like 3 months, and I thought I wanted to live in LA, and I didn't like LA. And I was listening to a Joe Rogan and Elon Musk podcast, and they were talking about Austin. And I had like this, I had some points left for a flight. And I was just like, screw it, I'll go there. And a girl that was in the mentorship group, she had a place here that was open for the week. So she was like, just watch my plants and like water the plants, and you can stay at my place, use my car.
Wow.
And so I got here and I was like, I love it. I'm going to stay here. And I found an apartment within like 3 days. And then I just stayed here. And that was like 2.5 years ago.
That was spontaneous.
Yeah.
That's spontaneous.
Yeah.
Damn.
What was it about Austin that just kept you?
I went down by Zilker and I saw like everybody walking their dogs and I saw the parks. And it was just a good vibe. And I was like, this is definitely, I was looking for a place to call home, and it was the place that felt the most home when I got here. And something just told me like, this is the place to be. So that's how it happened.
What's your two things? What's your favorite thing about Austin, and what's been the most favorite thing you've done?
Favorite thing about Austin is the community, the people that have come into my circle from being here. It's been a lot of just great support and good friends and people that I call brothers and sisters now. That's like, it's helped me so much on my journey. That's the thing that I love most, is definitely the people here. And then best thing I've done here. Best thing I've done here. I mean, I probably like a plant medicine ceremony that I did with like 10 other like entrepreneurs and people here. That was an intense.
Was that in Austin?
Yeah.
That's the thing you're talking about, right?
Yeah, because I was listening to your podcast, and it's called Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah, ayahuasca, and then you also said you did a mushroom ceremony too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There was a mushroom ceremony here that I did. That was just like super powerful.
Yeah.
Taught me a lot about myself. It's been like those times. Also, I would probably say that, and like the breathwork sessions and events that I've been able to hold here, those are probably like my top things.
What was your expectation when you're like going to Austin? Because I'm always curious, like, why do y'all choose Austin? It's like, because I've been here, I've literally was born here.
Yeah.
So I've been here my whole life. So I've seen the whole thing just like that. Change. And it's just, I'm just like, why does everybody want to come here? So I was like, what was your like expectations, and like,
I think it was just like I heard about the communities. I heard that people had more of an open mind here. We're in the spiritual space. That was like something that I wanted to get into more. So I definitely expected that, like really cool people here, really good connections. Honestly, like fitness was a big thing that drove me here. I just knew that there was like a huge fitness community here. And so that is what I expected, was like, okay, I get to go and be surrounded by people that are into the same things as me. And that's a big part of why I stayed here. I got connected with some guys that went to, I mentioned to you before this, but Squatch Frontier Fitness, which is like a big just community spot. And I started going there, and I got really ingrained into that community. And that's really what kept me here. And that's what I was expecting, was just like the fitness community. And that's really what drove me here the most.
How long were you in LA for?
I was in San Diego for like 2.5 months, and then I was in LA for about a month and a half.
Oh, so you weren't in California very long.
No, I went to LA and I lived there for a little bit. I actually lived in the Hollywood Hills with one of my mentors. And I got surrounded by that community, and it was just like, I don't want to be here for long.
Yeah.
He's been to LA and he said he would visit but would never live.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good for like work or whatever, and like just to get away. But like living there is I feel like it's very transactional. Like people you meet, it's very transactional. So, yeah.
Everybody's trying to like live up to something.
Yeah.
That they aren't, and that's the big vibe I got there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you growing up, you just know like Hollywood and all that, and like if you want to be a movie star, you want to make music or whatever, go to LA, go to California.
Anything, fashion, it's like everything's like there's opportunity.
Yep.
So you move here, you get your feet, wet, you get settled. Kind of what was your like career path from there?
Yeah, when I first got here, I was really big in like content creation. So I was doing a lot of like YouTube videos and making videos and editing, and I got really good at editing, and I was doing that. When I first got here, I was like training people online and like editing for people. And that's what I was doing, kind of figuring out my way. And then I got more into online fitness coaching and nutrition, and that's what I was doing for a while when I first got here. Just training people online, and then that led more into nutrition, led more into like holistic health, and it was just like online coaching. That's what I was doing.
Is that easy?
Not really.
Fuck, it's not. 'Cause for me personally too, like if I would want like my trainer to be in front of me, like, the whole time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, and it was more so. I definitely focused more towards like nutrition and the holistic health side of things. So like more than just fitness. Fitness was just a part of it. But yeah, like kind of same with me. It was good for the 2.5 years that I did it. Just not something like super enjoyable, because you have to like, in order to make a good income from it, you have to get to like 40, 50 clients, and then you're just always working. And it just got to the point where I didn't enjoy it.
How does it work? Is it just like a class you hold and there's 10 people in that class and you just coach it, or is it like individual? Or
no,
both?
so it's like there's these training platforms. So you'll make the person's workouts, and then they just have like an app on their phone, and they go to the gym, they pop that open, and I would like have videos of myself doing the exercise.
Gotcha.
So they would just see like, okay, dumbbell bench press, 5 sets of 10, and here's a video of Jake doing it, and then they just track it from that.
That's the other thing too, is like if you're the trainer, you can hold them accountable or like push them too, because they're in the gym. You just hope they're doing it, and
I found out over time that it's more of like a sales business, just trying to get people in, than it is a business to like actually help people.
Yeah, and it sucks because you seem like the person who actually wants to help people rather than just make money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I didn't vibe with it after a good amount of time.
Cool. So going from that transition from doing online coaching into getting into breath work, he was kind of asking me about breath work because we've been talking about it, meeting some people that have been doing it. And I didn't really know a whole lot of answers. I kind of did like a little bit of quick research, but I would love to hear like why breath work and kind of what made you want to go that route.
Yeah. So when I was doing the online coaching, I got it to a point where it was doing very well. And I had some business or team members come on, and I just still felt like empty inside, and I didn't really know why. Like, I had the money, I had the nice place here in Austin and everything, but like I wanted to commit suicide. And I remember in my apartment contemplating that one day, like, why am I here? And then I had a life coach who introduced me to somebody that taught breathwork, and I started doing that every day. And I really started to see some changes in myself, because what breathwork allows you to do is we're in our mind all day. Like, most people are just up in their mind, lots and lots of thinking. And so when you're doing that, like, you might have depressive thoughts, you might be anxious, but you don't really know why. And basically what breathwork is you're focusing on your breath. And what that allows you to do is when you're focusing on your breath and you're feeling it move in and out of your body, it gets you out of your mind and into your body. So you can actually like be with yourself for the first time. And your body's like, hey, what's up? You know, haven't seen you at all. Like, we actually get to connect for the first time. And that's what it really helped me do, was start to learn myself. I realized that I had a lot of childhood trauma that I was holding on to. I had a lot of like fear and scarcity, and that was passed down to me from my parents and like generations before me. And that's what it allowed me to start doing, was start seeing that. So then I started to work on that. And just because of the transformation that I had with it, like, that's why it became such a big part of my life and something that I now do.
So is breath work and meditation the same thing, or is it like two different things? Meditation is just, I guess, the correct term to use rather than breath work.
So good question. Two different things. Breath work is just constantly, consciously focusing on your breath to either put you into a meditative state. It can also work to like, we hold a lot of emotions and energy in our body. So it allows us to release those things. That's a lot of the work that I do. Meditation is more so like becoming aware of your thoughts, like being the observer of your thoughts. So they're two different things. I enjoy breath work first before meditation because a lot of the times people will try to get into meditation and then they have these thoughts come up and they try to avoid the thinking, but like that's not the point. What breath work allows you to do is start to get out of your constant thinking mind and get into more of a peaceful place, which allows you to get into more of a meditative state. So like when I do a breathwork session, we will do breathwork for 50, 60 minutes, and then I put them into a meditation. And like then your mind is a lot quieter. So meditation is more so becoming aware of your thoughts. Breathwork is more so consciously breathing to either become more present, become more aware of your body, let go of stress, let go of anxiety, align yourself with like the things that you want in your life. And so they serve their different purposes.
Gotcha. When you do breath work, do you just literally just focus on your breath?
Yeah. So it depends on what type of breath work you're doing. So there's like Tumo, which is Wim Hof. There's somatic, which I do. There's holotropic. Like there's a lot of different breathing styles. They all kind of take you to the same place. But so when I do sessions with people, when I'm doing somatic breath work, we are doing like big breaths in through your mouth, out through your mouth, focused into the diaphragmatic region. So that stimulates an emotional release. So emotions is how we let go of what we're holding on to inside. So we do that for like 20 to 30 minutes, and then we get into breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And that puts you into more of like a calm, relaxed state. So when you're in that place, that's where like a lot of the healing takes place. That's where a lot of the transformation takes place. But yeah, you're focusing on your breath. You're either taking like big breaths, which is more focused towards stimulating your body, or you're taking like longer breaths, which is more so calming.
Gotcha. Can you just do it anywhere? Is there like, and I'm assuming you just have to have everything just turned off quiet.
Yeah.
So just you and you.
Yeah. You can do it anywhere. So like today, I did an Instagram live with like people that are everywhere. So if you're in your office, you can do it. If you're in your bedroom, you can do it. If you're in your living room, like try to be in a place where you're not distracted.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can do it for 5 minutes. Like you can literally sit down and just close your eyes and focus on your breath, like in through your nose, out through your mouth. And you can do that anywhere. You can do it when you're at a stoplight. Like you can do it while you're driving. If somebody like cuts you off and pisses you off, rather than like flipping the bird, like you can just be like, all right, I'm going to chill out and I'm just going to focus on my breath for a minute. But yeah, like with breath work, you can do it for literally 30 seconds and it can calm you down, or you can do it for an hour and have like this huge transformation. But yeah, you can literally do it anywhere. I mean, we're technically doing some form of breath work right now. So yeah, it's just consciously focusing on that breath.
Gotcha. And you're also a fit guy yourself. So does it help with like any cardio or anything, or just open up the lungs more just in general?
Yeah. So with training, it helps so much with your recovery. So like, a lot of the times people, when they're training, like in between sets, they'll like lots of mouth breathing, like trying to like gain your breath back. But if you can like consciously focus on your breath in between your sets, so like instead of breathing through your mouth, because that puts you into more of a stressed out state. So like when we're doing these like breaths through our mouth, especially when training, we're breathing up more in our chest, and that puts you in a stress state. So like something that you can do is like in between your sets, focus on, can I breathe through my nose and out my mouth? When you're going on runs, instead of like breathing through your mouth, can you breathe through your nose as long as you can? Because to get a little science here. If you can breathe through your nose more than your mouth throughout the day, it improves your CO2 tolerance. So like your carbon dioxide tolerance. And the higher carbon dioxide tolerance you have, the more your body can deliver oxygen to your muscles. So like if you can breathe better, and have a better endurance with your breathing, then it's going to help you run better. It's going to help you recover better. It's going to lower the amount of stress that your body takes on from a training session. So it helps with all of that.
I mean, I don't know if that's the reason why they say breathe through your nose and not your mouth, but I mean, I guess they just heard it so that you keep saying it, but those are the reasons why.
Yeah.
Because I was bad. I was always breathing through my mouth. My hands on my knees. And
Yeah, it's crazy because Marcus Stroman, the pitcher for the Cubs, he was talking about it because him and Mike, I guess, were doing it recently the last year. And he was just saying, like, how just under control he feels all the time. And he was like, you don't even think about it. But it's like half the time you are just breathing through your mouth all the time instead of through like your normal, the way like your body's design is for like in here, out through the mouth. So that's awesome. I'm trying to think. So you kind of mentioned like your growth on social media and stuff like that. And I was listening to your podcast and you had mentioned that you were just posting content. At the time, were you just posting gym or fitness content, or was it more like the breathwork side, or were you kind of just, basically giving your thoughts on things? Because your following is crazy. I was telling him, I was like, dude, he almost has like 600K. So it's super cool to, connect with someone that's built up a following like that. So I'm just curious how that went for you.
Yeah, it was, at the time I had like 2,000 followers and I was posting 2 videos a day. And I just found like, I saw that because I had like a nice camera and everything. So I would just film myself at the gym and put like these like motivational, audios were trending. So like every day I would go to the gym and I would film myself and I would put like a motivational audio over it. And I would just put like the text of what the person was saying. And those like blew up. And then and that drove people to my profile. And then I was talking about health and wellness. So I was like giving people tips on their health, on their nutrition, like how to lose weight in a sustainable way, how to eat like more whole foods. So I kind of had like a funnel of, I would do like trending audios and then like bring them into my, like, here's actually what you want to learn. And so I did that I was posting 2 to 3 videos a day for like a year, or like a year and a half. I mean, I still post a good amount. But yeah, I was just doing that like every day. And it was more so focused towards, it was like fitness and nutrition. And then it more so became focused towards like, I was helping people like reverse their chronic diseases through nutrition, and like talking about gut health and all that. And that was like what really blew me up. And then I didn't start talking about breath work until like last December. And so then because a lot of my following, they thought that they had nutrition issues and they thought that they like had fitness issues, and that's what was going to like bring them the health that they wanted. But I was working with so many people and they would get to a certain point and they would learn everything that I could possibly teach them, but they still weren't like where they wanted to be yet. And so that's when I started talking about like emotional health and like spiritual health. And that allowed me now to like grow more into that space.
Awesome. How important do you think that stuff is, rather than just like eating healthy and also being fit and working out?
It's everything. So like, we're the only like species, we're the only living thing that has like an ego and that has emotions. And so everything in our body is like, it's emotions and it's energy. So somebody could eat the best that they possibly can, but if they have like a childhood trauma that they went through when they were 5 years old and they never allowed themselves to like feel the grief and feel the pain, that's going to be stored in their body. So that can lead to weight gain because they don't feel safe in their body. So like if I'm somebody that went through like this horrible traumatic thing when I was 5, and I've never released it. I've never allowed myself to feel it. And then I'm 30 and I'm trying to eat better, and like maybe I see some results, but like I'm not there yet. Like my body won't just lose this weight. It's because your body doesn't feel safe. And it's because of that thing you went through when you were 5. So until we fix that, you're never going to get to like the weight that you want to be at. And also I would take it like a bit deeper, is like people don't necessarily want to lose weight to be healthy. They want to feel better. They want to know what it feels like to feel good. And so that's a feeling, that's an emotion. So we have to like do the energetic and emotional work. And then once you do that, then you have like this really better connection with food, because you have a better connection with yourself. So then like, okay, this is why I need to eat whole foods, because it's the best thing for my body, and I have a better relationship with myself now. So I kind of look at it as a way is like, once we figure out the emotional side of things, we figure out the energy side of things, then nutrition helps a lot, then fitness helps a lot. But we got to like solve the root issue first.
Gotcha. So it just makes you come in basically as one with yourself.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah, because so many people get into like nutrition, but they don't have a good relationship with themselves. So that's not going to like really work, because then you're going to give into cravings more.
Yeah.
You're
Discipline.
Yeah. Like the discipline side of it isn't really there, because like if I don't have a good relationship with myself, I might start eating well, and then I see my friends going out on the weekend and getting drunk and eating a bunch of crap food, and like I want that, and it's like, yeah, all right, you know, who cares? I'm gonna go do that. Yeah. But if you have a really good relationship with yourself, then that's not gonna happen.
I don't know if you've done it, but a question I had for you on the way over here was, how has 75 days been for you? And like, have you learned like different stuff about yourself?
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, I'm doing 75 hard. I'm 35 days in. Actually, I'm doing it with my girlfriend, so it's been nice to have someone else to do it with, because at times it's definitely difficult. But with me, the stuff I've learned is just the time in the day is like the main thing that really sticks out for me, because obviously with still working full time and then obviously trying to grow our business and things like that, it's just like, all right, every hour has to be accounted for and has to be like productive. And even if that's just me chilling or kind of taking some time to myself, I just have to balance that, because now I'm getting in 2 workouts a day that are 45 minutes, 1 outdoor, 1 indoor. With us living in Texas, I got to do the outside workout first thing when I wake up, because that's really the only time it's realistic to do it. Or like if I go swim or something. And then it's really taught me too, like the discipline with the foods and stuff. Also like the stage I am in my life right now and just trying to like really focus and dial in on things. That's another reason why I wanted to do the challenge, because it's preventing me from, like he was saying, feeling like, oh, I need to go out and drink with people, or I need to, and then that obviously is a downward spiral. You go out and drink, then you stay up late, and then you get hungry because you're up, and then you eat bad, and then you sleep in till like 12 plus, and then you wake up, and then your whole day is gone, and then you feel anxious because you feel either unproductive. So it's like kind of a cycle. So that was really like a reason why I wanted to do it, to like really hone in and keep me focused. The food part has been amazing. Just really trying to eat as clean as possible and like feeling good about it. Like I don't feel super drained. I was telling him, I was like, when you eat fast food and like it'll just hit you like a rock and you'll just get slumps. But when you're eating like super clean and consistent and like good food, you actually have like sustainable energy all day. And then when you're supposed to get tired, you get tired and you like sleep well, you know, like wake up in the middle of the night and all that kind of things. Water intake's been great. I mean, I love water in general. That's all I drink. And then, and the reading, I think the reading has been super good, especially if you can get some good books to read, like the knowledge and like kind of unplugging, like not being on your phone, but you're still like consuming something that could be beneficial for you. So that's kind of my thoughts on it halfway through, and almost done. 30 more days. I'm more than halfway done now. So
have you heard of it or done it?
Yes, I have heard of it. I'm very familiar with it. A lot of friends and people have done it. I personally have not.
No.
No, I've never tried.
Would you? Like, do you see yourself doing it or no?
No.
I would not, like, I'm only gonna do it once, but I just saw a lot of my, like you're saying, a lot of my friends do it, and I was just like, if they can do it, I can do it. But
Yeah.
and I kind of want to just see like what it would do. Like I was saying, getting me focused, but definitely is like not realistic. I feel like it can cause like unneeded stress on you. So
Yeah, and I feel like I kind of I've worked on my discipline and like health a lot. So I mean, I'm technically like in the morning, I go for a walk and listen to a podcast when it's bearable in the morning.
It's dude. Hopefully, well, off topic. Also, side note. This weekend, the low is like, I mean, the high is like 98.
Yeah.
And like everybody's happy because the high is 98.
under 100,
That's
bro.
that's where we're at.
Yeah.
We're happy because it's going to be 98. Like, you see, it's
crazy.
going to be 98. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, sorry.
Like, no, you're good. I can't even take like a walk in the middle of the day. Like we have to take our, my girlfriend and I have a dog, and like we can't even take it for a walk in the middle of the day because her paws
It burns.
will burn.
Yeah.
And like I can't, I go like I'm barefoot most of the time, and I can't like go outside. And if I try to walk in the grass, it's all dead.
Yeah.
And there's just ants that
And then it also
bite
like
you.
hurts too because it's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a dog as well. And one time my girlfriend and I were getting out the car and he was in the car and she was grabbing something and she was like holding him on the leash at the same time. And he started like pulling and pulling and pulling. And then like you just see his back leg just start like popping up. And I was like, his paws are hot. That's why he's doing that. She's like, oh, and they just took off inside. And then every time I'll take him out in the middle of the day, he would like go directly towards the shadows and like walk there purposely.
Yeah.
Like it's been insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been insane. Like
Yeah.
you're around the same age as us, so it's like, dude, it's a little bit different for you, but we're in Texas our whole life. So when we were kids, it was nothing like this.
Yeah, and it was always hot. Like especially playing sports and football and all that. I was just like, bro, there's no way like I'd have been able to play now. Like I'm thinking about all the people on campus. And I'm like, bro, what on that turf? Like,
Yeah.
What was summer like for you in Rhode Island?
It would get hot, but like the hottest, like if it got to like 90, we were like, whoa, it's like really hot. But it was typically like during the summers, it would be in like the 80s, high 70s. So it was nothing crazy. And I like when I first got here, I just like was like, I can't go outside for a walk and like not be drenched.
You seem like a very outdoorsy person.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Like, because you're outside and it's like, it's uncomfortable to be outside because it's so damn hot.
Yeah.
So how was that for you, like mentally?
It's something like I've gotten used to more over time. And like, I kind of just deal with it now. But yeah, that was an interesting thing to like during the summer be like, I can't really go outside because of how hot it is. So that's why I had to like prioritize like morning walks and like evening walks. And I would try to get out to like Zilker in the evenings when I lived closer to it. Because that was like the only bearable time. So I had to like adjust my day around that. But I also went to like an outdoor gym. So I had to like make sure that I got my walks and like my early morning lifts in. So that was a big adjustment, but yeah, it's definitely interesting. To like experience that.
Is on it outdoor or is it a different gym?
No, so when I first got here, I lived when I first got here, I sold my car when I moved to LA. And so I got here and I got an apartment and I lived like 10 minutes from the gym that I went to. But I would just ride around on like the limes every day. And I mean, I would just be dripping sweat all day.
Before you even get to the gym.
Yeah. And so I just kind of like got used to it. At the time, like I didn't have a girlfriend. I was just kind of on my own. So it was all right. But yeah, I just would wear like gym clothes all day because I would just sweat through everything.
Yeah, it's not great because it's like I said, for like growing up, it was nothing like this. Now it's like, dude, I don't even want to go outside, and it sucks because he likes the water a lot, but like even then, the water's hot.
Yeah, the lakes are low. Like, I mean, it's unbearable.
Yeah, I'm supposed to go on like my friend has a birthday party on Saturday, and we're going on the boat, like a boat on Lake Travis,
Like a party barge.
Yeah, and I'm like, how am I gonna do this? Like, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, because I went to the beach. I can't remember not South Padre, but doesn't matter. I went to the beach not too long ago, and the water was hot. And then it wasn't as hot as like Florida, but I was reading like Florida water. The water was like 90 degrees because how hot it was. I was like, dude. It's got to chill.
Yeah. No, something's got to change.
Does breath work, can that count as a workout or no? Like for him, like if he did, since he's doing 75 days hard, he has like a indoor workout. Can that count as a workout or no?
It definitely could. Like if you do like Wim Hof style breath work, that's like a full like workout. Because I mean, if we look it up, you're probably going to burn the same amount of calories as like a workout with breath work. Just because you're doing you're moving so much energy when you do it. So I know that like when I do a full like hour-long breathwork session, I'm way more tired than I would ever be from a workout, just because of like how much energy you move during it.
Gotcha. What is it called? Wim Hof?
Yeah.
What is that?
Wim Hof is he like goes by like the Iceman, and he's somebody I learned a lot from in terms of like doing ice baths and cold exposure and breath work. But basically what it is Wim Hof style of breath work is you do 30 breaths in through your mouth, out through your mouth, and then you breathe out and you hold your breath for as long as you can. And then you breathe in, you hold for 15 seconds, and then you go into the next round. And the point of it is like the longer that you can hold your breath, your performance, your endurance, and everything improves. So it's more, Wim Hof is more focused towards like performance.
Gotcha. So something like more athletes should do.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
When you were playing college ball, was that something you ever even thought about? Like,
not really. Not until like the very end of like my senior year of playing, but it was more so after I graduated. If I had known about this when I played, I would have been like a completely different athlete.
You've been doing it for a while now and have good enough branding for yourself. Do you notice it like people doing it in sports now, or no? It's still like kind of newish in sports if people are doing it.
It's definitely newer. I've been around like in college sports, and I've been around like even NFL players. Like we used to train some at our gym, and it's just like it's very status quo in the way that they train. It's just like, because I know that when I was playing in college, like it was all linear type of movements, like deadlifts and cleans and squats and bench. And I got huge, but I was so tight.
Oh my goodness.
And I would just pull muscles all the time. So like it kind of goes into everything. Like if more athletes started doing breath work and they started to train in more functional ways, like now I train a lot more with kettlebells and like steel maces and sandbags, and I can move so much better. But they're just more so focused on kind of like the status quo, and that's what I was taught in like college too. And yeah, that's I think so many athletes could benefit if they started to like focus on like a more functional approach.
I feel like
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I feel like it would be better for like fighters because they're not like as like to the book as like baseball players, football, like your traditional sport players. I feel like it would be better for like them. Just because they like, for one, it's a different type of workout, and I feel like you have more time to yourself in the day than you do with like, if you are a professional, whatever sport you're playing. Because like you said, even in college, you wake up early. You got either workout, after workout, you got film, and then you got practice, then you got workout again probably, and then you still got like eat dinner and watch film while you're eating. Like you just have more time to yourself. I feel like as a fighter, you still have more time to yourself. You might be in the gym, but like you might not be doing anything. So I feel like fighters or something like that fighters are like, I guess individual sport athletes.
Yeah, 100%. Like the more that you can be out of your, it's twofold. So like with a fighter, with a golfer, with a track athlete, like if you can not be in your mind so much, like if things just flow, like if you're a fighter that just like flows, like you just know what punch to punch and you know what kick to kick, like you're going to be so much better. And then it's also the aspect of like, if you have better endurance, you're going to perform better. Jake Paul, I mean, he's a boxer now, I guess. But one of my mentors works with him. And so, like, I mean, he's a fighter now. And even like in his Netflix documentary, it starts with showing him doing breath work with one of my mentors. So like, I guess he's catching on. So if
That's
more
dope.
like athletes and people could catch on, like they would improve a lot.
It makes, well, you can see it, because I'm an avid fight fan. So I watch a lot of the fights, and you can see, because I watched his last fight versus Tommy Fury, and that was like 8 rounds, and you could tell that he was tired.
Yeah.
This past one he fought was 10 rounds, and you can see that he was a lot more like he had a lot more endurance throughout the whole fight than he did when he was with Tommy Fury.
Yeah.
So if that's what it was from, it could be also from a lot of other stuff, but it makes a difference.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Like, yeah, we think that it's just the training aspect, but we don't focus on like this whole other, like, where's your energy at? Where's your mind at? Where's your mental focus at? Where's your clarity at? Like, that's a huge part of it. Because also, like, if you're in a more stressed out state when you're going into a fight and you don't know how to like decrease the stress, that's gonna cause you to have lower endurance. So that the more like presence and awareness that you can have with anything, it's gonna help you improve.
It also makes sense for individual like athletes too, even like pitchers, because when you're when you're an individual athlete, it's like it's you and you. So you're in your head more. So like a golfer, it's like you hit a bad golf shot, it's like, fuck. Like, I just screwed that one up. Like, I'm not hitting well today. Like, I can't drive. I can't putt straight, anything. Then for like, I was a pitcher. So like for pitchers, it's like, I can't find the strike zone. I feel like everything I do is just wrong. So I feel like he said Marcus Stroman was doing this. For people like that, it'll just be easier.
Yeah.
It will be better for them because it's out of your head less.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a pitcher, like, if a pitcher's stressed out, then they're not going to perform as well. If they can, like, okay, I have a bad pitch, how do I react to that? So if you're a pitcher that does breath work and you know how to like work on your emotions and how you react, you're going to bounce back. But if you're a pitcher that doesn't do that, you're not going to know how to react. Like, you're going to react based upon like past emotions, and then your performance is going to decrease.
And the opponent knows when the pitcher is just rattled.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool too, like seeing all these changes in like health and wellness. Like, you have people more than ever, I feel like, talking about like seed oils and talking about like breath work, sauna, cold plunge, like shocking your body and stuff. So I guess, how do you feel about all those other practices?
I love it. Definitely like sauna, cold plunge is a big part of what I do. It's really good for detoxing the body. Like, cause we just accumulate like toxins and shit as we're living. So like the sauna is really good. It's also really good for the mind too. Like going into a really hot sauna and then going into the cold, like you have to learn how to control your emotions. So like if you go into like an ice bath and you start freaking out, like your body's going to freak out and it's going to be a lot harder to stay in there, rather than if you can focus on your breath and like chill, you'll be a lot better. But yeah, I love it for the recovery benefits of it. I love it for the mental side of it. I love that more and more people are getting into it because, yeah, I mean, it improves your life in more than just the gym. It improves your life in all these different facets. So I love like cold exposure. I love the sauna. I love breath work for performance and also for like your own healing and life transformation journey. So yeah, I definitely love that more people are getting into it. I definitely see like a shift, especially here in Austin. Like more people getting into the functional side of training, more people getting into the breath work, more people getting into like cold and hot therapy. I think it's cool that more people are shifting into it.
I'm glad. That was the other thing I was going to ask you. How's that? Because I haven't asked you yet, but how's the cold plunging been for you?
Yeah.
What was something you've noticed?
Yeah. So, I mean, when you played football, I'm pretty sure you like take ice baths and stuff. But back then it was just like, we got to get in this because we're going to be sore. And like your coach is making you get into it. But as I've been able to have the opportunity to go to a gym like the Collective where they have 2 saunas, 4 ice baths, and you can simultaneously sauna for 20 minutes, go cold plunge for 2, get back in the sauna, cold plunge again, like really shock your body. And obviously they have the obsolete plunge or sauna for you. Yeah, it's been great. I've always liked sauna. I've always just liked the sweating aspect of it and like getting hot, but the cold plunge has been nice too, because especially after we had having a cold one on, shout out having a cold one. But after just talking to them and like, because I was always like, I could never get up into my neck. Like I could always get in waist down, but like getting it up there into my neck, it just was always a struggle. But after they were talking about more of the science about it and like the nerve and like how it connects with your brain and all that stuff, I've been able to get down there more. And yeah, it's still super cold, but I mean, if you have access to even doing it like early in the morning, like I guarantee you, if you like get up at like 5 a.m., go cold plunge at 5:30, you won't need coffee or caffeine for the day. Like it does wake you up like that, and it keeps you up. And also it just like boosts your dopamine level, because you get out and you're like, damn, it's like 5:30 in the morning, and I just got like in 47-degree water immediately, and I was in there for like 2 to 5 minutes, and I got out. And it's like a temporary thing too. I feel like a lot of people got to like realize like, yeah, you're going to be super cold, but it's a temporary thing. And like you said, it controls your breathing, because my girlfriend, I've been trying to get her to do it a couple times. She went in the first time and she was like kind of freaking out, you know, and I was just like, hey, just like breathe, like chill, relax. And she was able to like even get down more than I thought she would. So yeah, it's super cool. And if you have the ability to do it, I mean, I recommend it just for anyone. It's amazing.
I want to do it. I haven't done it yet. I want to do it.
Yeah, you got to try it. Yeah, I having a cold one. I linked up with them, and I have one at my house now. So
I definitely want one of those
with that.
Yeah.
Have you've used it?
Yeah. I've been, I mean, I started doing it when I was in college for football, but we would do it like, we had like these huge kind of like horse troughs that we would do it in. And then we had like
the little kiddie pool.
Yeah. And then we literally had trash bins.
Yeah.
That we would do it. And we did it in those. But yeah, I was like, hey, you got to do this so you're not sore.
Yeah.
It was never kind of like for a poor performance or side of things. But yeah, now it's something that I probably do like 5 times a week. Getting into it. I mean, I love it for recovery. You feel a lot better. And yeah, like you said, if you do it in the morning, like you do not need coffee.
Do you drink coffee or no?
Sometimes I enjoy it. I'm currently on a detox. My girlfriend and I are doing a detox from it. I wouldn't say that I enjoy coffee. I enjoy the taste of it, but I don't need it. Yeah. I definitely notice a difference with myself when I don't drink it, that I'm much more focused.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely can. I've been trying to scale back on it, because I just feel like it was like dehydrating me for a while too. And I was just like, and I drink a ton of water. So I was just like, let me kind of cut that out. And I think it's been more of like the pre-workouts and stuff like that. And my friend Cooper, I should connect you guys, but he lives out in Phoenix. He does like a bunch of biohacking and like healthy stuff. And he put on his story today like a super natural like pre-workout, and he just has like 10 ingredients that he's mixing together, but it has like no caffeine, and but everything he's putting in it is like super good for you. You get all your aminos, your greens, you have like creatine and stuff. So it's just crazy, like the way you can do things a certain way. And a lot of the times people put out pre-workouts, a lot of these energy drinks and stuff, you really have to like read the label, because like they might not have sugar, but they have all these artificial sweeteners and then all these dyes and sugars and stuff like that. So it's kind of good to educate people on that, because you can read like a can and be like, oh, like, you know, boost your metabolism, reduces fat loss or whatever. But in reality, you're really probably harming yourself more too. So
yeah, it just sucks. I just wish eating healthy wasn't so damn expensive. That shit is expensive.
Yeah.
It's they make it that way.
Yeah.
For a reason. Yeah. I mean, it's like taking care of your health is definitely a more expensive thing in the present moment. In the long run, it's not going to be as expensive, because like if you don't have to go to the doctor or go to the hospital or pay for pills, like you're going to save a lot in the long run. Most people don't think about it in that way. Like there's ways to go about it that you can get it for cheaper. So I know that like I go to the farmer's market every weekend, and that's what my girlfriend and I do. We try to get everything from the farmer's market. And I know that like for myself, from developing relationships with the farms, like I get everything for a discount. So like there are ways to go about it that it can be cheaper for you. It's definitely more of an investment, but I kind of always go to like, you guys probably can tell, like I'm more of a spiritual person. Like if you're putting better food into your body, you're telling your body like there's more abundance. Like, so we're going to attract more money. We're going to attract better relationships. Like if you're focusing more on low vibration things, so like you're eating processed food, then basically you're telling your body, you're telling your spirit, like we attract low vibration things. But if you start eating better, you're raising your vibration, so you attract yourself to more money, a better job. So it's kind of everything is connected.
It's crazy how like food, processed stuff does that to you. Because there's even foods that have just different nutritions in them that like can make you happy.
Yeah, yeah,
It's crazy. Like I know, like strawberries is one of them.
Yeah,
Like eating the strawberry.
Blueberries.
Blueberry. I think it's just
really
like
good.
berries that like just make you happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like food is, I know, like our medicine.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because I had like an autoimmune condition, and I would like break out in hives, and it was not a fun time. And then I went full carnivore, and I just started eating like really high quality meats, and I like it completely took it away. I'm not full carnivore anymore, but still eating like an kind of animal based, like really high quality meats from local farms. And I mean, it's crazy how much better you feel.
How are you on like the meats thing? Do you think like red meats are bad, or like just meat in general is bad, and then it's better to be like a vegetarian, or is it? How are you on that?
In my personal opinion, I think that high quality red meat is like the most nutrient dense food on the planet, because like people can debate this and everything, but basically like regenerative farming is what helps our ecosystem thrive. So like a cow eats the grass, the cow shits, it fertilizes the soil, and then they move the cow. So like that builds up the ecosystem. But a cow, like if you look at a piece of red meat compared to a vegetable, like the amount of nutrients that your body can take in from a piece of red meat compared to a vegetable is like 100x. So I just look at it in terms of what provides my body with the most nutrients. Red meat has the most nutrients. So that's what I gear towards. In terms of like the cholesterol, and that's what like people will say like red meat is bad for you.
Isn't like cholesterol like just
in your
it's
heart.
hard to like digest and stuff?
So that's what we've been led to believe. I've went into this for a while, and like there's a great book called The Cholesterol Myth. But basically like cholesterol and saturated fats, that is the studies were linking those two things together, but it was the quality of the food that they were providing to the study participants. So they were giving them like McDonald's cheeseburgers, and it wasn't actually the meat that was causing their health problems. It was what they were pairing it with. So they would ask somebody that was like eating a lot of processed foods. And at the time, so the reason that this happened was like in the 1970s, they started taking like saturated fat and cholesterol out of foods. They thought it was bad. They thought it was linked to heart disease. And it was because more people were starting to, like the media was starting to say that red meat was bad for you. So all these people that were healthy and listening to the media started eating in like more vegetables and more foods that didn't have as much fat and cholesterol in them. Where all the other people that weren't listening to like what was healthy were still eating the meats and everything. But they're also smoking cigarettes. They're also drinking a lot of alcohol. So it was like called healthy user bias. So that's what made us believe that cholesterol was bad for us. But when you look at studies, like saturated fat and cholesterol actually helps your heart. Because saturated fat is what helps us transport nutrients throughout our bodies. It also improves our testosterone. It improves our hormones. So like if you're eating like butter and egg yolks, it actually helps your body absorb more nutrients. When you eat less of it, it promotes inflammation in your body. So there's like this stuff goes deep. But yeah, like cholesterol, saturated fat, in my personal opinion, is actually really good for us.
Yeah.
Definitely sounds like a rabbit hole.
Yes, it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah, because I remember when I went to that dinner, met Cooper, we were just kind of talking about stuff, and he was just talking about like, he was like, one of the tips I recommend is when you go to a restaurant, like ask for them to cook your stuff in butter, and they might get annoyed or whatever, but he was like, trust me, it's like way more beneficial, because he's like, a lot of these restaurants will use seed oils, and he was like, but you can get the same exact taste and better quality for yourself if they make it in butter. And I saw like this graphic today, actually, it was like crazy, like everyone's talking about seed oils, and like this girl posted this like story on her Instagram, and it's like 6 slides, and it kind of just talks about like how people looked in the 1980s and how like it's changed, and how like canola oils and these oils have became more available, and it showed like margarine, butter, and then something else that's used to cook with, I think maybe lard or something, but it was like a plate outside, and like the ants all went to the butter, but like they didn't go to anything else, and then they were like, nature tells you what to put in your body, and I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a big thing, is like when you go to restaurants, there's a great app that I use called Seed Oil Scout.
Okay.
And it shows you, so like when I go to and travel to different places, it shows you the restaurants that don't use seed oils. So like in Austin, there's Ziki, which I love, but they don't use any bad oils. There's a place called Picnic. There's a place that my girlfriend and I love called Daidu. That's farm to table. Like they don't use any seed oils. So I try and find those places. But yeah, if you go to like a restaurant, and I literally say, if it's not on Seed Oil Scout, like I ask them first, what oil do you cook in? And then if they say like canola oil, I say I'm allergic to it. And then I just ask them to cook it in butter.
Yeah.
A little hack.
No, it's literally.
A little hack.
Yeah. Because I know that like if I have canola oil, when you start to like eat really well, if I have like something cooked in canola oil, I literally feel my body starting to get inflamed when I eat it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy too. Like, I mean, even to talk about that real quick, like with 75 Hard, like been eating super clean and stuff. It's like when I eat something that's kind of like off the grid of the diet, I can just tell like my body's just already trying to like force that out of me, because it's like, you're doing so good, like you're not putting this in here, so like let's like make you feel uncomfortable, or like make it come out some way.
Yeah. Or you feel like slow and sluggish and tired and just groggy.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's pretty much it for me. I mean, I can talk days and days.
Yeah, I know.
This is very interesting. I love this
we'll
conversation. I wish we could go longer.
Yeah.
Running back for some point.
Yeah.
I guess kind of where do you see what you're doing? Like, where do you see it going?
Yeah, that's a good question. Right now, in terms of where I see it going, is just more events, more people coming together. Like that's the biggest thing that I love to do, is when people come together, when they do breath work together. Like it's really just, I've been in groups where you go to a place and you don't really know each other, and then you start doing breath work together, and like in a couple of days you're just best friends and like you're super close. So that's what I want to do more of. I think it will, where I see this going is that the more people start to focus on themselves and work on the relationship with themselves, it's going to bring everybody together more and more. In terms of what I'm focusing on right now, like I just had an app come out that gives people guided breath works, guided meditations. So I really want to focus on growing that. And then just like my one-to-one stuff. But I think that the more that people get into this, the more just people will come together.
Yeah.
I was like, just be happier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super excited. And definitely whenever you have an event, let me know, and I'm going to pull up and we can get it in. So.
Cool.
Yeah. Before we hit this off, any shout outs you want to give or anything you have for us?
Shout out to Matt for bringing us together.
Shout out, Matt.
Yeah, Matt. Matt is a dear friend, so shout out to Matt. Shout out to you guys for having me on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank
appreciate you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. And shout out to everybody that's listening. I hope this, allows you to look in different
Inspire
ways.
somebody,
Yeah,
different
inspire
perspectives.
somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, we'll have all his stuff in the description down below. Go give him a follow. Go give him a look what he's doing. Doing great things, especially in the Austin area. So that's always a plus.
Yeah.
But your journey, it was dope to hear. Like I said, I could sit here and talk for hours and hours and hours because everything was interesting.
Yes.
So I was very just dialed in and
Locked
listening.
in, yeah.
Yeah, so it was very, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Love to have you on again in the future. I mean, it's just because I'm sure there's more you could talk about as well. But again, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Like I said, I'll have all his stuff in the description down below. Go give him a follow. Go see what he's doing. If you like it, try it out yourself. But don't knock it till you try it. That'll do it from your boys over here at Opinionated. We'll catch y'all guys next time. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.